What's going on, nieces and nephews? It's your favorite uncle here, Uncle Mudcat, coming back at y'all with another video. Now, this is going to be a little personal. It's going to be something to hopefully wake y'all kids up. Now, nieces and nephews, if you have a parent that supports you, loves you, busts their butt day in and day out to make sure you got a roof over your head, clothes on your back, food on the table, goes out and gets you Christmas. They do absolutely everything in their power to make sure you never do without. And yet you want to stab them in the back, treat them like dirt. When asked to do something, you refuse to do it, and you won't even help out. You won't clean, whether you're told to do it or not. You're supposed to respect and love your parents. They brought you in this world. They brought forth you life. The man upstairs created you. He put you in a loving environment. Just for you to turn your back on them and hurt them and dig a dagger into their heart to where they're crying at night, can't sleep at night, or trying to figure out what they did wrong when they did nothing wrong at all. When you lie, you steal, you play the victim for other people feel sorry for you, and become bitter, hated, and have anger towards the person that did nothing but love you. That's what I consider wrong, nieces and nephews. There is no such thing as a perfect parent, more or less a perfect person. It's sad that the world we live in, how kids can turn on their parents and love somebody that never loved them in the first place, never cared about them, never was around, but rather do drugs, alcohol, gambling, couldn't be there for when you graduated, couldn't be there when your child was born, couldn't be there when you had a date, couldn't be there at all. But you worship them like gods. People that never cared about you versus people that do. It's sad that we live in this world that we do. But it is what it is. If you lie, you steal, you can't listen or do what you're told, of course, it's a parent's job to put discipline. It's a parent's job to discipline that child. How else can a child know what's right and what's wrong? Or how else can a child know, hey, of course your actions has consequences. And for your consequence, you're going to get your behind tore up. That's just how it is. I know times has changed and people think right is now wrong. And they think wrong is now right. That's not the world I live in. I live in a place called reality. And parents and kids need to wake up and parents need to take control of their household and start putting some belts behind their daggum child's behind and get them in line. You want to go out of a loving home? Hey, that's you. No harm done. But when you do everything in the world you can for a child, love them, spend time with them, make plans for them, like for birthdays or whatever the case may be, and they turn their back on you and start calling some strange person family that they don't even know, the only thing Uncle Mudcat can say is, you make your bed, you lay in it, just don't come crying back. Okay? There's so much you can do for a child before you say, hey, It's out of my hands now. You know, I did my part in raising you the best of my abilities. I taught you what was right and what's wrong. Now you want to leave and go out and take care of the world? Hey, you move out, you're no longer, my problem. Okay? It's hard to love when you're hurting, if that makes sense. I hope it does. It's hard. The only thing you can do is pray to the man upstairs that they change their ways. Because guess what? I'm going to leave you with this before I leave. You can't make nobody love you. I don't care if it's friends, family, your children, your spouse, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your fiance, husband and wife. You can't make nobody love you. You can't make nobody stay with you. You can't make nobody see the errors of their ways. You can't make nobody change to better their life. It's free will. And it's the same thing with Christianity. If people don't believe in God, hey, don't force it on it, let it be. Because the man upstairs gave us that free will to choose right and wrong, serve him or not. Instead of forcing it, let it be. It is what it is. Okay? You chose to leave. Hey, slate's clean. And when you leave your parents' house, live your life instead of trying to focus on what everybody else is doing and making problems and causing problems and everything else. Because it sounds to me you're still a kid, and I hate when people act tough. Like when they move out, they act tough. Like, yeah, I got my own place, got my own ride, got this, got that. When deep down inside, they ain't got nothing except for hurt and pain and feeling remorse and sorry for when times get tough. All right? And that's where you make your bed, you lie in your bed comes into place. You make your choices, you're going to have to deal with them, whether it's right or wrong. So, nieces and nephews, I will say this. Do what your parents tell you to do. Because that's one of the Lord's main commandments is honor thy mother and thy father. Okay? That's one of the 10 commandments. But the greatest commandment of all, love thy neighbor as I have loved you. Now, don't get me wrong. We're not perfect. There's no such thing as a perfect Christian, perfect sinner, perfect atheist, whatever you prefer to call it. Nobody's perfect. But from the grace of the man upstairs, we're blessed with his forgiveness. So, again, like I said, honor your parents. Respect them. They tell you to do something, do it. They've been around this world a lot longer than you have, and they know what they're talking about when they tell you something. Instead of letting it go through one ear and out the other, take it. Don't take it for granted, but just grab it by the horns and take every advice they give you. They've been around a lot longer than you. They know what they're talking about. So take heed to their words. Because if you don't, eventually, sooner or later, that voice of reason that they kept trying to tell you is going to come into play. Take care, nieces and nephews. It's been Uncle Mudcat. See you in the next video.